What's up, coaches, athletes? Michael Hughes here, Gymnazo EDU, talking about moving through the feet, locomotion patterns, making this body move on these 2 feet across the ground in ways that are going to impress people, but also more importantly, get around your opponent, get around the defender, and make your body agile, quick, in ways that honestly you may not even thought about. We have an entire locomotion series or way of thinking about it that colleagues have drummed up and thought about, and we're now sharing with you to get that baseball, to get that football, to get that basketball, to get soccer, to get anything on a court, tennis, to get these feet moving in ways that your body maybe you don't even know you have access to. So we're going to kind of unpack it for you. I'm going to show you the basic top tier in this video. And then if you like, please comment below if you want to see more and more and more of this demonstrated as we look at our locomotion series. So check this out. This is how we think about locomotion patterns. If you look at the very, very top here, we're looking at all the things that kind of have symmetrical foot patterns, maybe where our foot, right foot and left foot are doing the same things together. If they can do the same things together, well, then they can move in pretty good patterns, right? But on the bottom half, there's things where one foot does one pattern and another foot does another pattern. So we're going to be talking about this sequence right here. Again, I can show you all of these, but we're just going to talk about the top tier and what we see right here. We're going to talk about lunging, hopping, jopping. I'll show you what that means. I'll define it for you. Leaping and, of course, jumping, but not only in their pure sense, but in 3 dimensions or 3 planes of motion, because that's how sport and athletics are, right? You don't just always attack forward. Defense is not always about going backwards facing one direction. It's about changing angulation and having the ability or the mental capacity, brain to foot, to make that happen. So we're going to talk about 3-dimensional coordination. I'm going to show it to you, and this is going to vastly improve your body's ability to go through 3-dimensional space. So as I show you these different drills, I'm going to start about with lunging. I'm going to show you all of them in 3 planes of motion. Why am I doing that? Well, I'm doing that because your body needs to have access to a large movement vocabulary to be able to choose subconsciously the right move for the right time for the right moment. And again, that's what good athleticism is being able to put yourself in the right spot at the right time. And if you don't have the access to that, well, therefore you're just hoping stuff happens. So that's why you're going to see a pattern with the way that we move. So let's start with essentially the lunge. How do we go through 3-dimensional lunging? Now, 3-dimensional lunging is really considered as a step to a weight shift. So an anterior lunge would be a step to a weight shift. Forward, boom, pretty simple. Opposite foot, forward, awesome, good. You can also go backwards, right? So a step to a weight shift. So put my full weight back, lunge into it, flat foot, just as I was in front, right? Push off, come back. Step back, lunge, come back. From a side view, you can see that a little bit more, boom. Does that look like a typical backwards lunge? More than likely not, but as defined, that would be a posterior lunge. Lateral lunge, easy. Lateral lunge, easy, good. Let's go opposite side, or right going left. Right went right, what about right going left? Boom, coming out of that point. Left going right, boom, coming out of that point. What about open rotation, transverse plane? Open up, come back. Open up, come back, and then the opposite. Right went right, left went left. What about right going left and left going right? We would call that a lunge matrix, popularized by the Gray Institute. Got to give them huge props for putting that all together and making that a sweet package for us all. But what about the next step? What about going through more ballistic, right? So those lunges gave us the opportunity to kind of access space, right? But what about taking it ballistically? What about that agility and the jumping component? Let's go to a hop. Well, single leg hop, 1 foot takeoff to 1 foot land, but that's only vertical. What about through angulation travel? So an anterior hop, boom, back to center. Posterior hop, boom, back to center. Right lateral to right, boom. Left lateral with right, boom. Right rotational to right. Left rotational, boom. Come back home. What did that teach my right leg? I taught my right leg how to absorb single leg coordination, but progress through space. Now, am I going to do that pattern on a court in an exact way? Of course not. No way. But am I going to need to access some sort of little steps or do a little trip? Can I take and access that movement pattern to get me around when needed, when I get stumbled up or when I have to. Again, it's about giving the body the vocabulary so therefore it can make its full sentences, its full paragraphs, its full novels as the sport requires. Okay, so now we're going to take a hop, but a hop is 1 foot to 1 foot. A jump is 2 feet to 2 feet. What if we combine those? Well, we have made up the term, the jump. I'm going to jump off 2 but land on 1. And through that progression, now we're going to take that through 3 dimensions. So I'm going to land off, or take off 2, land on 1, come back home, land on 2, anterior, posterior. Same side, opposite side. Same rotational, opposite rotational. I'm going to slow that down for you. 2 to anterior, back to home. 2 to posterior, back to home. 2 to right, same side lateral, back to home. 2 to opposite lateral, back to home. Really working that inside adductor, kind of knee valgus deceleration. Same rotational, back home. And then right to left, opposite rotational, come back home. Again, working the different angulations, the different decelerations, and how the body must adapt to the environment. Awesome knee stabilization. Obviously, of course, I'm not taking into any consideration whether the knee is healthy enough to manage this or not. I'm going to let you do that yourself. But if you have questions about knee pain, we have plenty of videos I want you to check out on our channel to how to think about that, and then therefore give your clients or give yourself better training and conditioning through it. What about a leap? Well, a leap pattern is essentially 1 foot taking a flight phase to another leg and back home. So how does that look in the anterior chain? Right to left, pretty simple. What about going the opposite way? Push off right, land on left, come back home. What about lateral? Right push off, land on left, going left, come back home. Push off right, land on left, going right, come back home. What about rotational? Push off right, land on left, same side rotation. Push off right, land on left, opposite side rotation. Think about the different positions my hip went into, my knee went into relative to my foot and hip, and how those different muscles would have to control those patterns, and also just have the coordination to access those patterns. And then ending it all with a jump, which is 2 foot land to 2 foot takeoff. Really doesn't happen that often in sport, to be quite frank with you. There's also, these patterns are just good for good general training and conditioning as a jump for the gym. Anterior, boom. Posterior, boom. Right lateral, left lateral, right rotational, left rotational. And if you would go down to the microscopic level of how my joints went through different pronation, supination to push off, you'd see how different muscle fibers were trained a little bit better, a little bit differently, a little bit more precise, a little bit more through a case-by-case scenario. You would know that if you go through these patterns, train them well, make sure your calves are healthy, ankles are healthy, knees are healthy, hips are healthy, you can progress yourself, and like I said, give yourself the variety of choice that your body needs to crush it on any court, field, etc., etc. So please check out some other videos. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Add some comments if you want to see more of our locomotion breakdown series. And hope you all have a great day. And I'll see you next time. Cheers, cheers, cheers.